wanted to ask you, when you confronted this maniac, okay, what did you actually say to him?
I said, I don't know you. You don't know me. I've put together a very time-consuming art show that required an incredible amount of energy and money to produce. Provided free alcohol, it's a free event, free entertainment, great DJs, and you're here to sabotage it. And all I can say is, with my street art, I know what the consequences might be if I get caught, and I hope you knew what the consequences might be if you got caught trying to sabotage my show. And if the book gets thrown at you, I feel a little bad for you, but not that bad.
Were you like shouting when you said that?
No, I was speaking about like we're speaking now. I said, and if you have something that you want to get off your chest towards me now, go ahead. And no, not at all. Just twiddled his thumbs and looked at the floor and wouldn't make eye contact with me and said,
had he been handcuffed at the time?
No, he was just sitting there. And he said basically that he wasn't the guy, that the other guy was the guy, and very evasive. That was it.
Now, you must have been really angry though. Why were you so reserved?
Well, I knew that he was going to go to jail, and what's it gonna help by me?
At that time, were you aware that arson would be part of his charge?
No, I wasn't aware of that, but I knew that it was going to be
insanely serious.
Yeah, I was aware that it was going to be at least criminal, some sort of reckless endangerment. Which, if he set the thing off and people thought that it was something more serious than it was, and you've got hundreds of people in there and they all start running out, they definitely could be a dangerous situation. I have my reservations about, the cops always and their judgment, but those security guys were actually really cool-headed and really professional.
Now, I want to ask you a real metaphysical question, okay? Sartre here. Vandalism against vandalism. Some people would say that, like Middle America.
Right.
Did that ever cross your mind?
Well, of course. But the thing that how you define vandalism is it's kind of a bold definition of what I do. Broad. I would consider that rather than where I've been charged with.
Your work is beautiful.
I've been charged with malicious destruction of public property. I call it a benevolent enhancement of public property, where I would actually consider what this slasher is doing as just malicious destruction. They're not. It's not a statement that I think has anything to offer. And I'm used to dealing with forces that are anti-street art. It's just sad that it's from a quasi-intellectual, misguided peer. That's
You've
all.
heard in the subway days, there were the graffiti police that used to vandalize subway art.
Sure.
Did you feel there was a correlation?
Yeah, except the police are supposed to be dicks. People that have gone to grad school aren't. So, it's just it's very naive.
Okay,
and my assumption is that
this was the same guy that was splashing your art.
No, and I'm not saying it is the same person splashing my art. I don't know if it is or not. I think it'd be irresponsible to make that assumption.
So you take him separately from the police that might be giving you a problem, right? Because he's a private citizen.
Yeah, that was at the show on Thursday. Somebody came in. They did the same thing.
Part of the situation is that it's in your show. Very good.
Yeah, of course it's ridiculous. But I'm able because I've been able to find an audience with my street art, and I'm also able to sell art. And so that makes me, a sellout or whatever. You should just plaster all your photographs on the street before you put them on the internet, like Associated Press downloads. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely absurd. Because it's like it's like the lion and the elk. They're just that's how nature set things up.
How many times does that happen?
I don't know how much the cops deface my work, but a really funny time was I got arrested on a roof of a building in Chinatown where there was a blank billboard, and I put one of my images up, and the cops came up there and arrested me, and then knowing that I would be really bummed if the piece got messed up, even though it was a blank billboard and I wasn't desecrating an advertisement, they went and they tried to take my extension pole and scrape it off and said, yeah, how you like that? How about that? You know, like trying to rip at the face. So I guess they look at it as they want to hurt the feelings of the people rather than just enforce the law. But you know, my relationship with them, it doesn't get quite that personal. But yeah, sure. I mean, it's whatever. It's excessive, but that's just the nature of street art. And if and if I wanted to avoid those sort of situations, I would have gotten out of that scene years ago. I know what I'm up against going into it, and I choose to do it anyway.
But when it's a private citizen, it's a bit different.
Well, it just makes me think that there's sort of a psycho stalker vigilante type, which you know, I think that profile is dangerous. But people could look at me with my obsession with making street art and maybe say that I'm dangerous. So, you know.
Thank you.
Sure.
Gallery wanted to talk to you. In some regards, what happened the other night just got more publicity for what I do, and a lot of my reason for making work is to sort of have a dialogue about the content of my work. So something like that, even though it's negative and it's disruptive, gets more people interested in what I have to say with my work. And it's a trade-off, and it's irritating, but like it's not all bad. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at this very carefully and see what kind of clues we're here. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Excuse me.